Hi, I'm Karthik and I recently turned 25.
I turned 25 last week and I thought this is high time that I got caught over that fear of speaking in front of a camera. And especially, in an empty room where you have no people to actually talk to, it is just you against a static camera, which is which really puts me off for a while because I love human interaction and I would rather have a conversation with somebody than with a device. I think you would all agree on that, but anyhow, I think the lighting is a little like this is always an ick for me because it is inconsistent. It is towards the left, it is very sunny, and towards the right, it is very uh, dim. Like this sort of resembles my life because on the one end, it is really bright and happy, on the other, it is sad. And yeah, anyhow, now it seems to wow, this is the perfect limelight for me to speak in. And I forgot to turn on the microphone, so now the voice might sound a little different. Anyhow, the purpose of this video is to get to know me better. I'm not sure like why anybody would want that, but anyhow, like I've always been grateful for the audience that I've had both on Instagram early on and now slowly on YouTube, and the kind of support I've received over time is immaculate, and it is very joyful to see that in the times of short attention span that you're actually viewing and resonating with it, and not only that, you are interacting with it and you are letting me know as well that I'm doing great, or not, if not great, at least good enough. So I'm really grateful and thankful for you all, and this video is for you guys who are actually watching and who are actually interested in how I operate. And this is not a video of this is not an informative video. This is more about just a very mundane stuff about my life, and I'm not just a random creator behind the camera. I'm actually a human who likes to do and experience things in a different way, and maybe this will give you an idea about that. And the fun fact is, this video is not going to be very lame about me yapping around what I like to do, what I do in my free time, or where do I travel. I think everybody follows that on the Instagram and they have already seen a part of me, which I try to put it in a way which is very authentic. So you already know that aspect of me. So I did something fun for this video. I asked GPT to create some questions that I would ask myself, and I'll answer them myself as well. See, this is how lonely it is to be a creator in an empty room because you're surrounded by cameras and you're talking to cameras all your day. But yeah, never mind. That is a topic for a different conversation. Anyhow, so those questions are, I kept them as fun as I could, and I'll answer those, and that will help you get to know very basic stuff about me. Okay, you can skip this video, it's fine. But this is me, and yeah, I think it would be resilience, rewarding, and responsibility. Yes, I turned 25 last week, and even though the adulthood has been really rewarding for someone like me, I would not really hate on the adulthood at all. But I think comes with a certain sense of responsibility, for one, and second, it demands your resilience to deal with all those things. And which is why I think I got this tattoo recently, and it depicts precisely that. It depicts endurance, strength, and resilience. So there's this one song by the Arctic Monkeys. It goes by the name of Love is a Laser Quest. And if you've heard of it, you have my mad respect because I'm a huge Arctic Monkeys fan. And I love this whole album. It is a totally different vibe than the usual rock and roll. But anyhow, there's this one line that goes like, do you still feel younger than you thought you would by now? Or darling, have you started feeling old yet? So it is just a very basic line, like very basic, just something to, ask somebody like, do you still feel young, or do you feel old, or, just how old are you or something, to get the idea of that. But the way it has been spoken, it just comes off like sheer poetry. And this is something I just casually do in the normal life. If I have to ask somebody, I won't ask it quite directly. I will obviously pave a question either on the poetic fronts or the sarcastic or a little irritating fronts. So that is a part of me. Like I always have a way of asking questions and about the direct way. how does your peace feel like? So peace is very subjective in nature, and it could mean differently for different people at different intervals of time in their life. And for me right now, peace means just being true to myself. Like when I turned 25, I was gonna say 22, but I turned 25, I realized this one thing, that I haven't been true to myself. And one of the core reasons that I haven't found peace is that because all the things I said I wanted to do either lacked intensity or depth, or I was lying to myself, or I felt like I wanted to do that when I was, just trying to be somebody else. So now I feel a lot more comfortable because I have come to terms with that, and I feel a lot more peaceful. So just slowly living my life, just doing every single thing slowly and not hurrying at all around what I need or want to achieve, that just brings me so much peace. I think it would bring me more peace, this whole process and journey, if it went smoothly, than it would if I achieve everything all at once right now. So, what place feels like my main character setting? I believe it has to be anywhere when I'm alone, because when I'm alone, I tend to just ignore every single thing around me. I'm not conscious about anything at all. If I'm in the mountains, I'll just carry my backpack, put on my earphones, and just walk through the entire city or village or town, and nothing else would bother me. Like whether somebody's looking at me, I just perfectly love being by myself, and I believe that is the main character energy. Even though on the same contradictions, I also believe that side characters are very important for your life, and just being a side character in somebody else's life is equally as important and fascinating, and for a point I will call it very poetic. So there is a hint of disturbance between the thought of being the main character or the side character, because I love both. And it might sound odd, but yeah. So there is not a single place. It is more a feeling that I carry when I'm alone. But I'm mostly alone in Himachal, so I would say while I'm traveling the mountains. I believe it has to be the Shoja trip that I did in 2023. It was my first ever solo getaway, and I got stuck in landslides in the very same one. And I think everybody who knows me personally knows that story. And I think that is how beautiful it has been. Like I always talk about it every single place I go to. So that is how close it is to my heart. And that one single trip will always be there on my shelf, just either in let's say a photo gallery, photo album, which I printed physically, or maybe in some letters or pieces of text that I wrote during that time. But yes, that trip is a lot memorable to me because it pioneered the way of thinking which I possess right now, and it opened doors for all sorts of traveling for me. I've never, looked back upon that trip and thought that I've almost died there and I should have not been there. There is no regret there. That is only because I'm able to travel the way I am, think the way I am, create content the way I am, write the way I do, all because of that one single trip and the kind of people I've met, the person I've become. This social person who is very comfortable around people and ideas and conversations. That single place, that single trip shaped that version of me. And I think it is very, it is an understatement to say that it will always stay in my memory, but that memory is going to stay even beyond me. And I have a lot more of these questions because GPT is tireless. But again, I told you this was not an informative video. This won't really help you a lot. But yeah, if you stuck till the end, I really appreciate that. And just comment down if you did. And yeah, we can just chat about anything. I love talking to creators one-on-one. I love chatting with the audience and getting to know them in general. So if you want more of these videos, let me know, because I am definitely not loving it. Not loving recording these, but I think this is helping me get out of that zone where I do not really like recording myself, even though I have a lot to share to the world, a lot of stories. But I always fear that I'm not good enough in general. Like I don't have the right gear, even though I preach that you don't need the right gear, or just need to start. But it is a lot difficult when you have to do that yourself all over again, because it is an endless journey. Like once I stepped out into the content creation journey, there was only a brief amount of time before I realized that I had to get in front of the camera. I had to speak because I have stories to tell. So see you in the next video.